Hi everyone, how is everyone doing? Today I am doing the Wheat State Nationals post-show interview with Power Ring winner Nash Hinkle. I'm super excited to have Nash on the show, and we'll talk about his experience at the Wheat State Nationals. But first, I want to let everyone know that there's an amazing event happening this weekend, November 20th and 21st, the Destin Open. It's a Pro Mac tournament, also NASCAR rated, and it's going to be in Florida, the beautiful state of Florida, and on the beach. And it's going to be an amazing event covered by Point Fighter Live. So be on the lookout for those live streams. And this is going to be a tournament that you're not going to want to miss. And for anyone that is nervous about COVID-19, the promoters Holly Ham and Clint Ham have created a comprehensive COVID-19 safety plan. And so that includes temperature checks, it includes hand sanitizer, even pod seating for spectators. And it's going to be a really awesome event. And I hope that people can take the time to head down to beautiful Florida and get their competition on. With that said, I'd like to now bring in Nash from the Wheat State Nationals, and we'll have him pop in just a second. Hi, Nash. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, and I'm really excited to have you on. So let everyone know how old you are and what you won at the Wheat State Nationals.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I'm 16, and I was competing in forms, point sparring, and open weight sparring.
Yeah, that's a lot of different divisions. So very impressive. How was your experience competing at this tournament? I know actually you're the son of the promoter, so you sort of get the perspective of the setup. I'm sure you got a little stress. I'm sure you felt the stress of the setup of a tournament, and then also competing as well, and obviously excelling at the tournament on tournament day. So how did that go?
Oh, competing's awesome, and it was a pretty good division between all three divisions, and then going to grands. But the setup part of it is fun as well. Getting behind the scenes and helping with the tournament setup and the rings and all that stuff the night before. So it's pretty fun.
That's good. And so you are at the karate school right now, and I know that you told me that you're teaching today, and you just came from school. So you're a very busy guy. So what's your daily routine look like as a 16-year-old awesome martial artist who basically does everything?
Well, I start school around 7:30, so we get to the dojo just because it's a little easier to go from school to work. So I get to the dojo around 7, start school 7:30, go through school. School ends around 3:05, so from there I get ready, I set the dojo up. We have some lessons here and there, and then I train after school sometimes. Then classes start at 5, and I teach 5 to 9.
Mm-hmm. And so how do you do any other sports? Is martial arts your primary sport?
Yeah, martial arts. I really don't do any other sports besides martial arts, so I stick with martial arts mostly.
When did you? I know that your dad owns his own school and is a martial artist. So when did you start actually in the martial arts? How old were you?
I started when I was around 3, but I think I really started, training and hitting it hard around, 6 or 7.
Wow, three is on the younger side. I started when I was 5. I did want to start when I was 4 years old, but I think my parents thought I was a little too young for it. So what is your favorite part of competing?
Meeting people, and you meet a lot of new people, just from everywhere. It's never, the same people. There's always going to be someone new at the tournaments and stuff, so that's pretty cool. And then just the competition side of it, being competitive, and the wins and the losses is always fun.
That's interesting that you mention not only the wins, but the losses as well, because it's such a natural part of competition. There has to be a winner, and if there's a winner, there's a loser. So how do you personally deal with losses? What's your mindset coming in as second place, for example?
Well, definitely there's always going to be one winner. So if you're take second place, third place, you can go back and work on, what you missed. You can ask the judges, what could I do better next time, and then go back, practice that and be ready for the next one. It's always good to practice, the stuff that you can lack on.
Yeah, and I know that you won forms grants at the Wheat State Nationals. Was that traditional or was that CMX?
Yeah, it was traditional.
Traditional. And so do you do CMX forms or do you focus mainly on traditional?
I do a little bit of it.
A little?
I really don't compete much with it though.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Mostly.
And who's your main trainer for your martial arts?
For traditional forms, I train with Brett Thomas, and that's mostly for traditional.
Mm-hmm. Was this tournament, the Wheat State Nationals, your first in person, or have you been pretty active in competitions in the pandemic?
I really haven't done a virtual tournament. We try to stay mostly with the ProMac circuit of tournaments, and I believe we went to 2 or 3 other ProMac sanctioned events before that.
Mm-hmm. Do you plan on making it down to Florida for the Destin Open?
I don't think so. We were gonna try and hit that one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's now becoming the holiday season, and things are starting to pick up. What does your training schedule look like? Because you not only do fighting and forms, you sort of have to focus / split your time, kind of. How do you personally manage that time management?
I try to go as many days as I can, but it's also kind of training when I'm teaching class as well, getting out there and doing the drills and talking and going over with the kids and warming up with them. And it's kind of fun once you're kind of in the teaching, because it's teaching and training as well.
Mm-hmm. And so you're 16 years old and you're competing, and you're also serving as a role model for the students at your school, right? So when did you start taking on that role at the karate school as a teacher?
I started assisting around 11, 12, 13. I believe at 14 or 15, I got my instructor certificate to teach.
Mm-hmm.
So around the younger age, I was assisting and kind of just helping out around class and still taking class as well.
Yeah. What do you find to be the most rewarding part of teaching?
I think it's awesome just to get out there and have fun with the kids, and then just to see how it affects their lives and stuff. How there's kids that they want to come to class and they don't want to leave. They want to keep coming training. They want to come more times a week, and they don't want to give up. So it's always fun to see a kid's journey.
Yeah. Actually, recently I was speaking to someone, he had a 4-year-old son, and he said, I'm interested in getting him involved in martial arts. And I feel like that's a conversation that parents often have with their younger kids. Should I put my kid in martial arts? And as someone who teaches and who's also involved in the sport, what do you say to a parent that's wondering, should I get my kid involved in karate?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Get him in. And, a lot of kids are going to play more than one sport or do more than one thing. And karate helps with all those sports: eye-hand coordination, speed, agility. It's really good for all sports, on top of self-confidence and making themselves better, just with everything they do.
Yeah, like the discipline, the confidence, all those life skills martial arts really teaches you. So do you plan on, taking over the school one day? Are you getting primed by your father to do that? Do you have any interest in owning your own martial arts school one day and maybe taking over the Wheat State Nationals?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely the tournament part, and expand again, having at least another school. That's a good goal, to add another school, maybe 1 or 2 more.
Yeah, I know it seems far in advance, in the future, but it's really refreshing to hear that you have this big vision for your karate school, you and your dad's karate school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, sorry, I just need to get some. But yeah, so, what relationship do you have with your father in terms of training? Because I know that you have a separate trainer for traditional, and sometimes dynamics with people who have parents involved in martial arts vary across the spectrum. So what is that like?
You know, even before I was training, you know, with somebody for fighting, or he was always helping with my forms, my weapons, my fighting, my creative, and all that. You know, I kind of came up learning and him helping me through my forms or my stances or whatever it is. So he's even when I have trainers, you know, he's always there helping me, and it's a perfect balance.
That's good. It's good to hear. It's a perfect balance, because I think some kids feel as though it's a little overpowering at times. Maybe I'm self-projecting, but definitely, yeah. And so what is your, I think a lot of people in martial arts have fond memories in general, but do you have the best memory of competition, or do you have your favorite win at a specific tournament? Let's tell the viewers about, what really makes you happy. What's that fire under you?
I think most to all tournaments, are a blast, especially even we say nationals when I can, be behind the scenes and set up. But I also love traveling, and that's a big push as well. It's not all the same tournament going round and round. Mm-hmm. It's different with everything, so it's awesome.
So what tournament do you hope to go to? Coming off this win at the Wheat State Nationals, what's the next one that you have your eyes set on to hopefully conquer?
Well, we were looking forward to going to the Destin Open, but I don't think we'll make that one. But the next tournament definitely is, I believe, in February, Memphis Open, and I had a two-year streak before this last tournament of open weight sparring, so I want to go back at that one.
Oh yeah, streaks definitely. I would love to hear your opinion on having a streak at a tournament, or streaks in general. They're kind of, I would say that they're nerve-wracking to some. Personally, it's yours to lose, right? So someone's gunning for you. How do you feel about having a streak at, say, the Memphis Open, and the possibility of you losing it? What is your mentality going in with that pressure?
Well, somebody has to go in there and win it. So best be me. If you have that chance, you can go in there and get it. And then if you can't, then you just learn from it and you go back and you try to take that streak back over again.
Yeah, you gotta start over, and you can't let it bring you down, right? That's definitely motivating. And so, are you just you and your father are the only ones who do martial arts? Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I do have a brother, Walker.
And does he do martial arts?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so it's sort of like a family thing, or am I wrong?
Oh yeah, definitely. My mom, my dad, my brother, my aunt works here.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's definitely a family business.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. And so what do you plan on doing, from now until the Memphis Open? Because you said it's in February, which is, some months away. How do you keep yourself sharp with that much time in between tournaments?
Well, it definitely, especially with the big fans, that's where teaching definitely comes in handy and helping. As I'm just in there practicing and going through with the kids, it keeps me in shape, as well as practicing off to the sides after classes and private sometimes. So the long span definitely helps with classes and staying in shape, that aspect.
Yeah, it seems like you have a really productive setup, being able to go to karate school and being in a family of martial artists. But I am interested, for my last question for you is, what are some challenges that you face in the martial arts that you sort of had to overcome and overcome?
Yeah, definitely. Time. There's a lack of time, but that's good. A busy schedule. But between school and teaching and practicing, it's a lot, but it's worth it.
Yeah, time management is something that's an invaluable skill that I think a lot of martial artists and someone in your position has to learn. And it's really impressive that you ran from school to get onto this interview, and then in less than 2 hours, you're going to be teaching the next generation of martial artists.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much, Nash, for coming on, and congratulations on your win at the Wheat State Nationals.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure to have you on. And I hope that everyone watching has an awesome and amazing night.